The styling of Lamborghini is so unique. If you look at it, Ferraris are more elegant, more subtle, the round corners. Aston Martin is very elegant, I find. Lamborghini is just a ball, it's so aggressive, and the sharp corners, and I love it. And before that, it was the Gallardo, right? And it was always more of a symbol, and I never connected with the Ferrari brand, and I always loved the Lamborghini, and it was always a blue Gallardo that I had on my wall and such. And when time came, I'm like, why would I buy a Gallardo when this beauty is out? So that's how I ended up with the Huracan. I think the concept behind Lamborghini is very cool when they say we believe in the naturally aspirated engine, we believe in the real big force, in a lot of horsepower, and we might one day go electric, but we're just far from it. Even when everybody else already shifted to it, they're like, we're proud of how we do it, and I do like that, Of course, they're gonna have to get electric sooner. They're coming with it now, but I do really like that concept about them. My name is Oraizen, and I drive the Lamborghini Huracan. The 610-4 version means it's an all-wheel drive, and yeah. Growing up in Israel, I was always into like quads and motorcycles, and it was always something to do with motors that I was into, but just Israel is quite a bit more expensive, and when I got to Canada, I all of a sudden had way more access to things that in Israel would be way farther. It's an experience that I'm feeling privileged because every day I have it in within reach, let's call it, and waking up, jumping in it, starting the engine, everything about this car is just outstanding. It's amazing, the experience, the thrill, the fun, and I love it. 2017 was the year I was supposed to buy it, and I missed my sales goals. So I overlook a lot of sales managers and reps all over Canada, and I didn't hit my goal. It's very important to have goals and then go and do whatever it takes to hit them. And when I missed it, I wasn't knocking doors at the time. I was more in the manager position. That's when I realized, and I looked at my wife and said, baby, I love you, but I'm going to have to go back in the trenches. I think 2018, I need to go back knocking doors, leading from the front, managing. And thank God it worked. We grew 20%, I had a stellar year, and this was the reward of it. So that's kind of how it came about and got to this. So the Huracan has 3 driving modes, the Strada, and then you have your Sport mode and the Corsa. Sport mode is bad news in the winter, because what it does is it makes 90% of the rear tires instead of 70, which you're gonna be drifting, which sometimes you want to, right? But I love that you have that control. But what Corsa does is it actually changes your car to race mode. I think it's in Italian, and what it means is no longer the gear will shift. So you have to use your paddle shifters. And when you are in that car, the paddle shifters are this big. When they put them in cars wanting to make them like, ooh, I can shift, it's kind of there. In the Lamborghini, it's there. Like, you can't miss it, and that's all you have there. And it instantly puts you into the car a bit more. And when you are in that mode, what's interesting is it actually changes the way the engine sounds. And you probably heard when you downshift in Lambo, you have that ba 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 ba, and it's just the sexiest sound on the planet, I think. And I truly love the sound of it, the way it operates, and the fact that you're in control with the Corsa is quite cool. If you can drive a Quattro or a BMW all-wheel drive or a Mercedes, the same system is in the Lamborghini, just quite a bit better. Now, when Pirelli, if you look at the tires that I have on the car, Pirelli in engineering with Lamborghini. How many winter cars on the road have engineered winter tires for that vehicle? Which tells you, okay, so you have way better winter tires, you have way better grip, you have the best all-wheel drive system because you're paying for it. So now why would you not drive it, right? Now, the reason is because, there is salt on the road and you might get scratched and this. I'm like, if you're buying a car to resell it, which some people do, then you're 100% right. But if you're buying a car to enjoy it, if you're buying a car to use the car, then guess what? Put 3M film on it. Wrap it. You can paint it after 5 years. And it's funny because some people call it reckless, and I'm like, they're just not business minded, because if you truly think about it, opportunity cost is a big value. I always follow that concept. And if I can drive a Lamborghini for 5 winters And let's say I did want to resell it, and I'll go and repaint the whole car and do everything it takes. It will probably cost me $10,000. So then you got to ask yourself, $10,000 to $30,000, let's say, was it worth $5,000 a year to drive my car year round? 100%. Don't fear to dream. You know, it doesn't matter that no one drove a Lamborghini before me in the winter, because I knew it's possible and I went and made it happen, right? People have to have dreams in order to have motivation follow. It's really a question of, am I dreaming and motivated and trying to make things happen? And I find a lot of times people just bounce around. Millennials and generals, they just seem to have their hands in 5 different jars, hoping that they're gonna find that one night, overnight opportunity, and they're gonna take off. Where, find something that makes you money, you know, find something that you can make more money growing, right? Whether it's a job that you can see yourself advancing in the company or anything. But have those goals and aspirations that will keep you devoted and motivated to grow. If you don't, you're floating. You know, if you don't have goals, you are floating in the world. And when I say you're floating in the world, you're hoping that the world and the current will get you to where you want. Instead of taking responsibility, taking accountability, and saying, I am going to get there, you're hoping that the world will get you there. And that's a problem in my opinion, because when people say this is not fair, whoever taught you that the world is a fair place? Ask yourself, how do I put myself on a path that can hopefully get me there one day? To me, it was sales and commission based, and I took off with it. It doesn't have to be that, but each person owes himself the opportunity to really, hey, those are my dreams. How do I at least put myself that I can reach them one day? And I think when you have these dreams and somewhat of a mega plan, let's call it, you're automatically going to think, okay, flipping burgers in McDonald's is not going to get me there, so I can work in McDonald's. Don't get me wrong, I love people that work in McDonald's because they work in McDonald's because they're going somewhere. They're making money on the way to their dream. You're not going to McDonald's to stay there for your life, but you're going there to make dues. But if you work in McDonald's and you have a plan, okay, I'm working in McDonald's, but at night I'm actually reading online and I'm learning marketing, or I'm going to university through going to McDonald's to get to the path that can get me to my goals. That's what people need to learn to focus on. They have to be able to position themselves in a path that can get them there eventually. And that will be my biggest advice, because if you're not doing it, well, you're a floater. And I would assume that 1 out of 1,000,000 floaters end up where he wants to be. The rest of them don't. But if you look at how many people set goals and have a plan and actually go and do whatever it takes to get there, it's way more succeeding stats, I would think.